Power Up with NSA North Texas, a show about finding, hearing, and maximizing valuable insights from some of the world's leading business and lifestyle speakers. Each week, international keynote speaker and National Speakers Association North Texas Chapter President Betti sits down with some of the most exciting speakers this side of the globe to hear from these subject matter experts what's making a difference in business today and learn all there is to know about people, profits, and productivity in business from some of the world's best motivators. This is Power Up with NSA North Texas. And now, here's your host, Betti Coffee.
Hi, I'm your host, Betti Coffee, president of NSA North Texas, and I want to welcome you to our NSA North Texas show. The NSA National Speakers Association is the premier organization for professional speakers. Our members reach audiences as thought leaders, consultants, authors, trainers, coaches, educators, humorists, and motivators every day. This show is going to share with you so that you have the opportunity to see some of the cutting-edge topics, issues, and messages that organizations want to know about, want to share with their employees, and share at meetings and events every day. And you're going to hear about our NSA North Texas experts, the subject matter experts, about these topics themselves. So I'm very excited. Today, I've got Karen Cortell Reisman. She is fantastic. I think Karen is just tops. And she's a speaker, an author, and a coffee ice cream eater, and is the founder of Speak for Yourself. Karen and the Speak for Yourself Associates work with decision makers on how to communicate formally, informally, and electronically. So important, electronically. It's all about how to speak for yourself. Karen also speaks about her cousin. Guess who Karen's cousin is? The one and only Albert Einstein. In a message about hope, resilience, and braziers. Did I say that correctly?
You did, and you'll just have to hear it.
I know. Well, I got their attention. That's good. The topic today is how to speak for yourself to make more money. How to speak for yourself to make more money. Karen likes to talk about gravitas, and she's going to talk about how to speak with gravitas. Speak for Yourself programs are all about how to speak better, how to give better presentations, how to be persuasive in your speaking, how to get rid of that presentation anxiety and fear, and how to handle impromptu speaking. In addition, Speak for Yourself programs, these are the things that the program is not. It's not about using a script. It's not about adopting somebody else's style because you're you. It's not about memorizing a program, and it's not a bunch of presentation tips that are going to be ugly and boring PowerPoints. Speak for Yourself programs and coaching will teach us how to craft a good, compelling message, to establish trust with the buyer, to boost your profitability, and not throw up during $1 million presentation. So, enough about this, and Miss Karen, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Ditto back.
Karen's a phenomenal speaker, and a lot of effort goes in to the connection she makes with her audiences. So let's go with let's just start with our first question. What makes a great presentation?
Betti, have you ever heard the phrase COD? Back in the day, that stood for cash on delivery. Not exactly what it stands for here, but in essence, it really does, because when you speak for yourself with power and presence, you sell yourself, you sell your professionalism, you sell your services, you sell your products. But for today, and all that I do with all my clients, all my workshops, all my corporate people I talk with, C stands for content.
Content.
That is substantive information that's saying something worth saying. O stands for organization, and that's how do you strategize so you're sticky? Think duct tape. Duct tape is good. You want to be sticky. You want to remember it in your head. And I'm going to share with you how you can make it more memorable to the people in the room so that your listeners, it just doesn't go onto the floor, sticks in their head. And then finally, the D stands for delivery. That is your sense of style, your sense of pizzazz. But nevertheless, you have to show up. Your delivery is important.
I love that. I love that. So there's so much going on in our lives today. We're all very, very busy. We always go through our routine. And at the end of the day, I always think, what was accomplished today? I kind of run the day through my head. What was accomplished? What stuck? What didn't stick? And it's scary what did not stick. So in our busy, busy lives today, how do you get the listener, when you're making a presentation, when you're speaking to them, to buy in? How do you do that?
Well, I want to break this to you kindly and gently. I want to break it into all the people listening and watching. We are all wearing a BS light bulb on our foreheads. Now, we know what BS stands for. Although one time I was talking to 900 home inspectors at a convention in California. There's an association for everybody. And I posed to them, what does BS stand for? And they all said, better service. I said, no. You know what it stands for. But we all have a BS light bulb and it's flickering. And we are subliminally, if we're the ones listening, we're subliminally asking the speaker 3 questions. And I'll make me the speaker here. Does Karen know what she's talking about? Mm-hmm. Does Karen care about what she's talking about? And is Karen talking to me? Is Karen going to meet my needs? And it's our responsibility early on when we communicate with others to answer those 3 questions that they really are subliminally thinking, so that they go, okay, I'm going to buy in. I'm going to put away the phone. I'm going to stop looking at my wrist, which is now where your Fitbit and your text messaging and all the stuff is coming in.
Right.
In fact, everybody now has ADD. We are all distracted. So answer those quick questions, show that you know, show that you care, and let them know that you know who they are.
I love that. I think an audience can sniff out a phony. They can sniff out somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, or even more importantly, if they're not passionate about it and they're not sharing that passion. That's so true.
But I want to add one caveat there. You do not have to be an extroverted cheerleader. When I say you have to show them that you care, you can be an introvert. You can be even more effective as a speaker. You do not have to be the pom-pom twirling, baton twirling person out there.
Right. Do I hear a yay? No, you don't need to do that.
Not need to do that, but we need to know that you care about the subject.
I love that. Now, what we always do, what I know I do and you do, is you always have a message for that audience, and you want that message, no matter what it is, to stick. How do you get that message to stick with your audience?
To have a sticky message is what we talked about when it comes to organization. I have 3 ideas for you. How you can keep the stuff in the sieve and not on the floor. Because, by the way, not only we have a BS light bulb stuck to our forehead, we have a sieve on top of our head. And people only remember 25% of what you've said. However, if you do these next 3 ideas, then I can flip that around. They'll remember 75% and only 25% gets on the floor. So number 1, you want to have the magic power of 3. Can you take your information and divide it into 3 categories, 3 silos, 3 reasons? I can be bought. I can go down to 2 and up to 5. But if you can do the magic power of 3, even on an email, this is not just about a formal presentation. Number it. So the second thing is less is more. Is anybody interested in this besides me that's doing the talking? Always ask yourself, so what? So embrace your inner editor. And finally, the last way is to use Velcro. I know you're going, what's Velcro? Well, Velcro, on the shoe, that sticky stuff that keeps it together.
Right.
What is Velcro is your stories, your examples, your anecdotes, your metaphors. Even the word Velcro is Velcro.
That's right.
Because I'm using a metaphor that you might remember after you watch this video or
podcast or whatever we got. I love that. The still number 1 fear people have over death is the fear of speaking in public. Isn't that amazing? As professional speakers, we get over that. But I know I still have a little bit of butterflies in my stomach when I go on out, and a little bit of stage fright. So how can your average presenter, how can a CEO, leader, whoever, Get over that stage fright. Get rid of it and just dive on in.
Okay, Betti, when you said butterflies, I just want them to fly in formation. You would be surprised and shocked. I work with a lot of CEOs. I work with decision makers, and everybody's out there having a panic attack. So this is quite common. And I really don't want your butterflies to go away. Nervousness equals adrenaline equals energy.
It's true.
So how can you make the negative slippery slope of anxiety and flip it into a positive thing? And if this were a longer deal, I would give you 15 steps. I'm going to narrow it down to 2 games that you have to play. I have to play. All of us have to play. It's the mental game and the physical game. There's some mental things you do and physical. The physical is room temperature, water, getting there early, doing some exercises ahead of time, being prepared, knowing the audience and who they are. These are all physical things. Mentally, just as important, because it's very easy for us to go down that slippery slope of misery. I want you all to try to remember the past successful time that you communicated with somebody. And I want you to take that with you. I want you to find your mantra. I want you to listen to some music that you absolutely love and pumps you up. The mental game and the physical game combined
It's going to lead to success.
Can take your butterflies and make them fly in formation.
And be yourself.
Exactly.
Always be authentic. Always be, which goes back to your first question. What about impromptu presentations? If you're not expecting it and all of a sudden you're in a meeting and you all of a sudden are told that I've got to do this impromptu presentation, or they want your opinion on something and it's going to be more than yes and no, how do you handle those to get yourself fired up very quickly?
So somebody comes up to you and go, I want you to speak about X. You go, you want me to speak about what?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, what? And I don't want you to be caught by surprise, and especially in your professional world. So there are some quick and dirty techniques that we can use because people find you more credible. They're going to start building trust with you if you sound organized. So some of the things you can do, one of my favorites is the pros and cons method. There's nothing in this God-given earth that doesn't have the good side and the bad side. So if you want to talk to me about traffic in Dallas, Texas, I could say, well, there's advantages and there's disadvantages to our traffic in Dallas, Texas. And then I start talking about the pluses and the minuses, and then I do a power close.
So you're setting yourself up for success that way.
I have a format. I have a template. Another template is past, present, and future. So in the past, we had no traffic in Dallas, Texas, and we talk about that. And then we talk what's going on currently, and then we talk about managed toll lanes, and then we can talk about, which was one of my clients, and then we talk about what's going on maybe, in 3 years down the road.
Right.
And then you say all in all, so you have a power close. So those are 2 techniques. Another one is point of view from a professional speaker, and the point of view of the audience, and the point of view of the meeting planner. So that's another great way.
So there's no fear in that impromptu thing. You just remember those keys that you just mentioned, and you're going to rock.
Or just think about, how can you organize this? How can I organize it so that it sounds good? And if you don't know anything about the subject, okay, if that happens, I'm a big believer in saying that I'll get back to you.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't feel like I want our listeners not to. I want you to be authentic. I want you to be transparent, but I don't want you to look the fool.
That's right. That's right. So be honest.
So you be honest. You say, I'll get back to you within 24 hours, and then you get back to them within 24 hours.
Communication we're communicating every day, verbally, non-verbally, and especially electronically. Now, we communicate in how to have an email and do it greatly, how to leave a voicemail, do it greatly, how to leave a great text. All of those measure our communication skills and what we want to do as far as getting a point across. What kind of tips do you have for us when we talk about email, texting, voicemail? What do you think?
Betti, so often our prospects and our clients get to know us before they even see who we are.
It's true.
And it's all because of our digital conversation with them. And we can be so professional or we can be completely annoying. And you mentioned three things, email, voicemail, and texting. Let me start by voicemail, which is not so common anymore. People don't leave voicemail. In fact, many times I'll just hang up and leave a text. But voicemail is still a part of the professional world.
Right.
So if it's a really critical one, I make sure that I have written down some bullet points ahead of time. Just a few things about voicemail. If you number your items, we'll remember them more clearly. So if I want to tell you what's my favorite number? 3. So I'll try to keep it to 3 points. And so first, Betti, I want to confirm that I'm going to come to this studio on this day and time. Number 2, number 3. I also want you to leave I know this is a news flash out there. I want you to leave your phone number slowly.
Slowly.
Please,
No
dear
kidding.
God. I already hate you. If I have to listen to that message 3 times, I don't like you very
Get
much.
annoyed. Absolutely.
And then finally on voicemail, your outbound message can be more unique than leave a message at the sound of the beep. I'm either on my phone or away from my desk. What, are we just coming from Mars? We know that you're screening your calls, and why don't you say, let me know a good time I can call you back?
Oh, I love that.
And then you minimize
It's more
phone
inviting.
tag.
Yeah, it's more inviting.
So a few tips on email. The obvious ones: keep it short, keep it sweet, have a sig line that is clear, that doesn't go on and on and on. That's a signature line at the end, and have a subject line that really is about whatever it is you're talking about, so that people can refer back to it. That's something I like to do that my clients typically, it's one of their top takeaways, is start your emails with you rather than I.
Oh, I love that.
It's very hard to do. We start by saying, I look forward to meeting you, or I thank you for your time. It's, you were great to meet with me. You were great to have that phone conversation with me. You will find this attached to the email. And finally, we could spend the balance of our time dying laughing over the miserable mistakes we have made on texting because we've audio texted. And I will not do that with you right now because we've all been there. So my main tip for you when it comes to texting is please review it. Do not press send until you've read it, because we're audio texting and sometimes it comes back with hilarious and potentially embarrassing.
That's so true.
Stuff.
Everything we just mentioned gives the listener an opinion of you even before you open your mouth. Mm-hmm. And so no matter if it's an email, voicemail, text, whatever, you are speaking for yourself. You're representing yourself. So that's so important.
So everything I said about a speech, so power of 3, less is more, and use some Velcro if you have time.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, when we're speaking, what is the absolute stealth bomb that can totally derail your speech, that can totally derail your presentation, and you have a hard time coming back from it? What's the stealth bomb of all time?
I love movies, so this one reminds me of the movie about this ship, and it's a maiden voyage, and a lot of people get on, and then it hits an iceberg, and the ship sinks. Now, what is that?
Titanic.
Okay, so these are what I call Titanic moments, because imagine that you are a ship, and everybody you talk to out there is the harbor. If the ship misses the harbor, it's rarely the harbor's fault.
That's true.
So the stealth bomb is not doing your homework on knowing who the audience is, finding out who they are, what makes them tick, what makes them stay up at night regarding their businesses, what's the taboo subjects, what's their favorite slogan, what would make the outcome successful for them.
Doing your homework.
If you don't do that homework, you might have a Titanic moment, and it also increases your nerves.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this will also decrease your nerves by doing that homework.
I love that. I love that. So, what is in normal business presentations, what would you consider is MIA? Missing in action. What do we so often forget to do that would be so powerful if we did?
I've evaluated in my many years of being president, Speak for Yourself, I've probably evaluated over 5,000 speeches. This is really what's MIA. And I'll go back and say that there is a myth about giving a speech. The myth is that it's hard to give a speech. But the reality is it's just hard to start and it's hard to shut up. So it's the two ends that are difficult to do, and that's what I find missing. People don't start dynamically. They don't engage the audience. There's certain specific steps that you must do at the beginning and then at the end. And we've often heard you tell them what you're going to tell them, then you tell them, then you tell them what you told them. It doesn't have to be that obvious, but there are some things we do at the beginning so that the audience wants to know that you know, knows that you care, and they know that you know who they are.
And they're going to be all the more attentive.
So it's the beginning and the ending that are missing.
So bottom line, in your experience, what are the 4 most important factors in getting your message across, no matter how you're doing it? What are the 4 important factors?
Okay, Betti, have you ever done a puzzle? Like one of those,
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, 50-piece or, God forbid, 1,500-piece puzzle?
I'll stick to the little ones, but yes, I've done them, yes.
So you've done a puzzle. What's the first thing that you do when you put together a puzzle?
I try to look for the outline. I try to get the frame.
There you
so
go.
I can go from there.
That's exactly right.
Got it right.
Okay. You put out all those pieces on the table and you look for the rim, and specifically you look for the 4 corners. So when you get the 4 corners of that puzzle, that is a good guide for you to move on. And then you can get this puzzle done. So for us, the 4 corners of the puzzle, this is whether you're speaking formally or informally or even digitally. So corner number 1, and we have talked about this, is knowing who your audience is.
Yep. So important.
I stressed it throughout this podcast. Know who they are so that you can meet their needs and you're not going to become a Titanic situation or have a Titanic moment. Okay, your second corner is knowing what is your statement of purpose. If this were a book, what's the title of the book? Don't sell the whole store here. What's the purpose? And I also like to share with my audiences how much time I will take. So the statement of purpose and how much time it's like the butt factor, how long their butt has to sit in that chair.
Right, right.
So that's the second corner. What's the statement of purpose?
Okay.
The third corner is the ROI. What's the return on investment for them? And you might know it, but I want to make sure that they really know it and not just subliminally. I say it out loud. I go, I guarantee that you're going to leave with tips and strategies to make you more confident, articulate, and comfortable so that you can create credibility, get trust, and get the relationship. Because when you create the relationships, you increase your financial bottom line. So I often say that relationship capital increases your financial capital. That's the ROI. And for everybody, I don't care if you're selling toilets, elevators, or fillings and stuff to do with your teeth. You're either doing something about money or something about emotion. And really, they're all the same. So ROI is all around making people money, saving people money, saving them from headaches, making them happier, and all of that is bottom line. So that's your third corner.
Okay. What's my 4th?
Your fourth corner is the call to action.
At the very end.
It's at the end. And so on an email, that comes towards the end and it's next steps. I want you to know what you're going to do, think, or feel as a result of having listened to me or listened or read my email. because time is everything. We're all over busy. We're all overwhelmed. We have so much stuff coming in. So I want to make sure that they know what is the call to action and tell them.
Tell them so they take it with them.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, we just have a few more minutes left, but I want you to talk about your books. Karen has 2 books that she wanted to share with us today. Go ahead and talk about your book.
Great. Well, the first book is The Naked Truth About Giving Great Speeches, 22 ways to really reveal your presentation skills. All right, I'll do one more. I've stripped it down to its bare minimum.
Naked, strip, bare. Gotcha. You want this book.
It's skinny because we don't read anymore, but in a very limited way, very less is more. I have embraced my inner editor.
Good.
I am sharing with you all of what we talked about, how you put your speeches together, how to get your nerves working for you, not against you, and how to speak with your own sense of self. So this is this book.
Awesome.
The second book is The Naked Truth About Selling, and again, 22 vital communication skills. Sometimes you think, well, I'm not giving professional presentations, but I will tell you that you are selling all the time, every time you open your mouth.
Every time
because you're selling yourself.
That's right.
If not your product, and if not your professionalism, you're selling you. And so this one maybe is not as specific about how to give a formal presentation, but it's all about how we communicate to sell ourselves.
I love it. Okay, and how can our audience learn more about your books? Where can they go?
The name of my business, which was the name of this podcast and videocast, is Speak For Yourself. And that is my business name. That is my website, Speak For Yourself, F-O-R, speakforyourself.com. And when you get there, it's not just stuff about me, it's stuff about you. And I have a thriving blog. Have a look, sign up.
I've
good
gone
stuff
there.
there.
It's very educational.
It's good stuff there.
Yeah,
I get a lot of business from people just from having looked at that website and they resonate with it.
Okay, so how else would you like the audience to get a hold of you if they have any questions today?
If they have any questions today, you can call me. And my business is that's the other phone number, 972 490 8676.
I love that. I love that you said it so slowly. I could read.
That's right. That's right. It's so ingrained in me. Usually I say it twice, and actually on a voicemail I separate. I go, the area code is
there. You go.
972.
Okay.
And then the phone number is. And
wonderful.
Do the phone number.
And your website again
is speakforyourself.
Love it. Love it. Now, as we wind this down, Karen, what is your sticky message? A very short statement. What's your sticky message for our audience today that you want them to take with them?
I want you to speak for yourself with power and presence by the way you sell yourself, sell your image, and sell your professionalism, because you're going to build relationships, and when you have relationship capital, you increase your financial capital.
I love it. I love it. Okay. All right, Karen, fantastic. Thank you. And everyone, thank you for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. Remember, it's all about powering up to be better, faster, and stronger. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to Power Up with NSA North Texas. To find out more about today's guest or NSA North Texas, visit www.speaker.org. To find out more about Power Up, visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/groups/NSA North Texas. And to find out more about Betti, visit www.betticoffeepresents.com.